Yeah, but I didn't know they was tripping on Empire. They was really tripping because I didn't realize how much this family was at each other's throats and
Oh, it's a mess. And they love you, and they love showing the black family just messed up.
yeah, and black folks love playing them roles too.
Mm-hmm.
Talking about selling your soul. Damn. I'm looking at Vivica A. Fox. Homegirl done aged.
Yeah, she ain't looking half as good as she used to, and plus all that plastic surgery and stuff.
Well, Vivica ain't really never did much for me.
Yeah.
It's some sisters that are attractive, but at the same time, they still don't do much for me.
Yeah, I understand.
Anything.
Like Halle Berry?
Yeah.
I never understood why people were so fascinated with her.
Propaganda.
I could go to Walmart and see better women than her.
It's all propaganda. You keep pushing somebody in your face and they program you that, oh, she's so beautiful and all of that, and they put the extra things on and certain lighting and stuff like that. But then when you see the people in person, they just look just as like anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why a whole lot of these celebrities actually get plastic surgery, because they try to look like the image that the media actually put out there. And some of them look,
whole game.
yeah, and some of them look at the image that Hollywood put out there, and they try to improve the image by altering their real selves, and they end up looking crazy, like Little Kim, and Michael Jackson, and all of them. They end up looking crazy.
Right.
I want to look better. That's not how you look anyway. I mean, that's lighting, that's camera, that's Photoshop, that's all that stuff. That's not really how you look.
Right.
So when they look in the mirror to see their real selves, then they get confused. They start trying to look more like the image that's portrayed, but that image is not them.
Yeah.
So they try to reflect the image and mess themselves up.
Right. It's a cold game.
Yeah, but I was looking at Cookie when she was called to go out of town to look for her drug addict sister. I know exactly how that feels. When you got your own life going and everything is cool, and and then you got some family member that's always getting themselves in trouble, and then you got to stop whatever the hell you doing, to go look after them. I mean, that has to be extremely frustrating, Has to be. You got to stop your life to run after somebody who's destroying themselves, and then that's when things in your life be happening that you really need to be there. You know what I'm saying? And so people can't understand when you say, fuck it, I'm going back home, because I really don't have time for this. Like she said, she's going to eventually show up somewhere. It's not that a person is cold. It's just that people really be into their thing, and they really would rather not be bothered with all of that other stuff anymore. They've gotten past that. They're trying to build further than that,
Mm-hmm.
I totally can relate to her, because when my ship come in, I ain't gonna have no time for all that old madness either, and I'm not going to really have to even deal with it actually, because I'm not close to my family anyway, and don't want to be close.
Right, I hear you.
You know, the only attachments that I have, of course, are my two sons, and I really wouldn't even call those attachments. I mean, those are my sons.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but as far as anybody in my bloodline outside of my sons, I really don't give a fuck what they doing with their lives.
Mm-mm.
My kid's mother, Tammy, she tell me, she's talking about my niece. Sissy's getting ready to have a baby. I'm like, yeah, I know. Aren't you excited? I said, I don't give a shit. I don't care. I don't care. I told her I'm not a family member. I mean, those are people who I'm related to. You have to understand the distinction. I'm not a member. I'm not involved. I'm one of them people. I think it was either you or I was talking to Nicole, and I was saying that I'm the type of person to where you see David like every 10, 15 years. And it's like if I pass away, like my sisters, my oldest sister in Chicago would say, well, my brother or who is your uncle passed away. It's not going to affect them. Because I'm not a close family member. I'm that person who comes into town to where it's like she lives right next door to my dad. So it's like if her kids come over, I'll shake their hand, but it ain't none of that old hugging emotional shit, because I'm not a member.
Right.
I'll be sitting there talking to my dad about some things, and my niece or nephew just happen to be in the room, and they'll be looking over at me like, that's supposed to be my uncle, but that's the extent of it. I'm not trying to build no relationships with nobody because I just don't want, that's not what I want. Because I've got some foul, funny acting people in my family, and I would rather not have a relationship with them. I don't want one with their children. Because if I have one with their children, then it implies I'm going to have one with them, and that's just not what I want. I'll come and go as I please. Because actually after my old man leaves here, as far as I'm concerned, ain't no need. There's really no purpose of even going back to Chicago.
Mm-mm.
Other than to see my cousin, who I'm very close to, Joe Ricks, but other than that, I don't really, family, real close family-wise, there ain't no need of me going back there. This is what I was telling my dad, when he was trying to get me to go to Arkansas to a family reunion, and so I don't care nothing about that. I said, both my grandparents are gone. Ain't no need of me being in no damn Arkansas. What for? I don't see the point. I see what people go through with their family members. I read about it on Facebook, and I'm like, wow, I'm lucky, because these people really don't know. You don't really have to be bothered with all of that drama. You don't have to put up with anything. Because if there's one thing that will hold you back is family members and bad relationships. That's one thing I've learned.
Mm-hmm.
And you look up, and it's like years done went by, and you still haven't gotten where you need to be, It's just not worth it. But what I like about Lucius, nothing affects him. He don't care.
Yeah, he's pretty much like indifferent.
Yeah, and I can relate to that. Because what people think I should care about, I don't care. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that comes from being stumped on and grinded into the dirt. It pretty much makes you, I won't say insensitive, actually it makes you even more sensitive to what you shouldn't be affected by. You just don't care about anything anymore.
And then a lot of times when you stop caring, it's like you're not controlled anymore.
Exactly. And then you find out that a whole lot of things that have been put in your life for you to care about are actually devices to control you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why when I made that video, when I said, fuck your Jesus, that shocked a whole lot of people. They was like, damn, did he just say that? I mean, I never felt so free in my life until I said that.
Right.
I went to work that night, and I was so humble and humility. I've been walking in humility ever since.
Right.
I mean, I'm free, because there's absolutely no fear factor. And it helped me understand the reason why they put Christianity on the African. To keep you afraid all the time. And they walking around here talking about terrorism. The biggest attack of terrorism is Christianity. I would tell anybody that. It just makes a total liar out of you. I mean, you live a life of lies. A whole life of lies. I don't want to say that because that'll be wrong. Say it. It's wrong to be a liar.
Mm-hmm.
If that's how you feel, say it. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I was telling Angel. Me in his last conversation. I was, he was saying, well, the laws and the commandments, we're under the commandments and the laws. And so I ain't under nobody's law, and nobody commands me to do a damn thing.
Right, yeah, you do it because you want to do it. I mean, that's another reason why it's so-called the whole heaven thing, man. All these people talking about commandments and laws, it's like, man, really the real test is would you do it if you wasn't told to do it? And most of them can do it. Just like like we always say, man, most people ain't really trying to get into heaven. It's about avoiding hell. That's the only reason why they so-called submit to this God.
Yeah, and you know what? I've gotten to the point to where I ain't even trying to avoid hell.
Right. Yeah, hell ain't even real. They made that up, but you already know that.
Yeah, but even if it's real, I don't care no more. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't care because I didn't start all of this. You know what I'm saying? And it even says right there, your thoughts are not my thoughts and your ways are not my ways. Well, what are your ways and your thoughts? I'm not telling you. Well, then fuck you then. You know what I'm saying?
I hear you.
So, in other words, like it says in another part, I'm just paraphrasing, but the highest level of man's righteousness is but dirty rags to God. So no matter what you do, no matter what you say, no matter how well you treat, you please people, it ain't never good enough.
Right.
It ain't never good enough. Okay, well then why should I try to be good then? Why should I even be good? Why should I do the right thing? It ain't gonna never be good enough for you, and you're not sharing your ways and your thoughts with me. So what the hell is going on?
Right.
So that makes you just say, throw it all away, fuck it. I'm gonna respect who respect me. I'm gonna treat people right, but if you put your hands on me, then you're dealing with something else. How about that? But I ain't living by no commandments because ain't nobody going to put no oppression on me. See, because commandments, like I was telling him, is a form of oppression, and it makes you a liar.
Mm-hmm.
I'll do it because I'm commanded to do it. No, do it because it's right. Don't do it because somebody's commanding you to do it. I mean, if you want me to submit to you truthfully and fully, then don't command me. I mean, it's common sense, but it's like a lot of people, they don't really look into the words and what the words imply and the function of the word. I command you, you commanded me to do a damn thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then they want to say you're being rebellious. No, I'm being free. You are not going to command me to do nothing.
Right.
All right? Because you ain't the one down here resolving all of this. Ain't nobody asked for this. Well, mankind brought it on itself. Well, I don't remember me doing anything to bring anything on myself. Well, Adam and Eve bit the apple. I don't care nothing about that shit. So what? punish them. Because you notice those two older black women, especially Pastor Leela or whatever, when I put that video up, she said, nope, I ain't saying nothing. There's a whole lot of stuff that I put up that I know she see, she don't say nothing. Because
Right.
every single time that woman try to say something, she gets smashed. I can go on one of her posts and smash it and just kick it, just beat it all up, and she don't say nothing.
Because she can't say nothing.
Yeah, because but the only thing she'll do, she'll click, I like what he said, but I ain't going to say nothing because, no. You can't, because you dealing with an intelligent and wise man.
Right.
And you could do that if you would put the book down. Totally free, man. I can't be worried about that. That's what I was telling him. I said, I ain't worried about nobody floating out no damn sky to come save me. I said, he didn't tell you that you had to be saved anyway. Yeah, it is. It's in the scripture. John said we had to be saved. You're saved right there. We have to be saved. Saved from what? Well, we covered in blood. Yeah, whatever, nigga. That's religious talk.
Right.
You know, he told you go and sin no more. He told you that. I said, now where is he in that equation? Where is even the creator in that equation? He's telling you save yourself. You stop your madness.
Now, y'all.
That's what it means. He said, go and sin no more. He said, go on, stop tripping. That's all he's telling you to do. Go on and stop acting a damn fool. Stop hurting yourself. So when you do that, if you're saved from anything, you're saved from yourself. And you know, sitting up looking at this empire is very educational and very rewarding, because I'm looking at how Lucius is, and I'm like, okay, most people would say he's evil, but he's got a story too. You know, something made that man this way.
Yeah, you see, you know, when you see those scenes with him and Kelly Rowland and his mom, you see why he's so messed up.
Yeah. But all at the same time, the things that his mother put him through made him so hard that he became successful.
Yeah. God, you know, I heard it said before that in this country and really in the world, and the way the world works now, you really can't even be a true success without going through a whole lot of trauma in your life. Because when you think about it, trauma, in a way, depending on how you channel it, is what builds your character. Because just imagine if you never been through all the things you told me, you wouldn't be so refined as you are now.
Mm-hmm.
So you use your trauma as a way to refine you and to make you a better man than the man you were yesterday.
Yeah. I mean, it's just like me and you talked about years ago, and I think almost just about, if not every conversation we have, hold on, I got to put on my Miles Davis now. But just about, if it wasn't every conversation we had, it had to be every other conversation we had, when we always say that, hold on for a minute. Not my album. Okay, what was we talking about?
Oh, you was telling me you bought some conversations we had, but then you said that's when you had put on your Miles Davis. But you said about every other conversation we had, and then that's when, you know.
Yeah, but where was I going?
Okay, let me rewind back in my mind.
Okay. I'm trying to remember. I gotta stop cutting.
Oh, we was talking about trauma. I was talking about how we use our trauma and the hell that we've been through to refine us and make us a whole lot better and a more complete human being.
Right. And you know, we used to always talk about that if you know that what you've been through is wrong, then it's only because righteousness is already in you in order to recognize the wrong.
Yeah.
And so if you can recognize the wrong, then you've already choose the right way to go.
Yeah.
You know, that's just like another conversation me and Angel had. And we were sitting up talking about Star Wars. And he was saying that the Sith Lords, you know, Darth Maul and all of them, are evil, and they know that what they're doing is evil. I said, see, what you don't understand is that Sith Lords, they act upon what they see is good. This is the reason why he said good is a point of view, Anakin. This is when Palpatine and when him and Anakin was talking. He said good is a point of view.
Right.
And that's true. See, what the Jedi see as evil, the Sith see as good. This is the right thing to do. And so what is in fact good and what is in fact bad? I mean, if it is a point of view, which it actually is, then it goes back to the tree of knowledge that we was never supposed to even, we was never even supposed to come in contact with knowledge. Now, I don't know how true that is, but I do know one thing. Knowledge, information don't do nothing but make the human family clash.
Mm-hmm. I know where you going with this. So whatever, you know, kind of like knowledge. I mean, not knowledge, but so-called information really is like a feeds the ego, or it enhances the ego, and that's another reason why, you know, ever since women, and we ain't saying women should be dumb, but ever since women have been reading and stuff, they hit all that information has messed them up to where they don't even want to be women no more. They want to be,
exactly.
And they want to compete with men and do everything men do when they don't understand. They was crazy to do everything a man can't do.
Exactly.
So it's not about being equal to man or man being equal to woman. It's about us complementing each other and completing one another.
Yeah. And that's where the whole help meet comes in. She's supposed to help us meet our highest capabilities, and she's supposed to help us get there. Not to tear us down or sit around and wait for the man to do everything so she can just sit back and enjoy the benefits and feel like the only thing she got to do is fuck.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
It's much more to that, man. You know, and so I'm looking at this character Lucius, and now that I'm seeing his background, I pretty much understand why he's the way he is. And you know, a whole lot of people, when they sit down and I start opening up to them, like a lot of pastors that I've met out here, it's one pastor that I know that I set up and I talked to him for 6 hours, and he's a Baptist preacher. His name is Pastor Lott. And I sat up and I opened up to him for 6 hours. And he sat there and he just shook his head. He said, how old are you? And at the time I was, how old was I then? I think I was 47. He said, you got all of this information in your head? And you ain't nothing. He said, you not even 50 or 60. He said, you ain't even 75 years old yet. He said, you got all of this in your head? He said, brother, you strong. He said, because do you know what most people have to go through in order to get to the level that you at? I said, but you know, one thing you're going to have to understand, it has a whole lot to do with the individual. A lot of people wouldn't survive some of the things that I've been through. I've done my life been in jail. But I've been through a whole lot of things to where I felt like folks deserve to get their ass kicked. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just like when I was living with or when we had the house over there. You know, and this fool gets married, and he moved this idiot from Atlanta, Georgia, and moved them into the house, and everybody's downstairs talking about me like a dog, and I'm upstairs listening to it. And then when I go downstairs, everybody's smiling in my face and want me to sit in the backyard with them and drink and eat with them so everybody can smile in my face. See, that kind of stuff makes me just want to jump on you.
Yeah, man, shoot them.
You know, because I would rather you just be up front. You know what I'm saying? Come downstairs and get quiet. I would rather you do that. Come, you know, when I come downstairs, everybody get quiet, don't say nothing. You wait for so-called Brother David to get his food and go upstairs, and then you get back to talking. That's the proper way of being two-faced. You know, but the worst two-faced people are the people who you go downstairs just 2 seconds after they've just got through talking to you, and they smiling you in your face and offering you a plate of food.
Yeah, man, it's like that's almost like offering you a plate of poison.
You know, and then when you go upstairs, you mean to tell me nobody down here can see the hypocrisy in one another and the two-faced in one another? You know, you motherfuckers is dangerous. And what makes you dangerous is because you're turning me into a person that is extremely dangerous.
Right.
And I'm looking at you and I'm listening to you, and you are not worthy of two minutes of my freedom, not 2 seconds. You know, and these are the same people who will celebrate your birthday without your consent. You know, and I'm standing up there in them birthday pictures. If you look at me, I'm just tolerating it. You know, because I didn't want my birthday celebrated, because that was just gonna put me in the position, because my sons wanted to come over to celebrate my birthday. I said, okay, now I'm gonna have these folks around my sons. I said, now I'm hoping that nobody don't say nothing, look at them the wrong way, because I will burn this bitch down if somebody disrespect my son. You know, I would set the house on fire and dare somebody to walk outside. I told you about that woman in Chicago, right?
Well, which one?
This happened back in 1978. It was a black woman, right?
Right.
And her son had got molested by this guy in the neighborhood. And this dude had a history of trying to touch little boys and stuff like that. And so it just so happened that her son, he went all the way with him. And so when they took him to court, he pleaded like he was getting to have it all. You know, so they put him in an institution, and they allowed him weekend visits. Okay, now wait a minute. You allow him visits to where the kids are not in school? What about Tuesdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But over the weekend? I mean, it's bad enough you not throwing this dude in prison. And so she couldn't take it because it messed her son up. So one night, she got some gasoline, like 10 gallons of gasoline. She had 2 5-gallons of those things, and she went around their house 2 times. Poured that gasoline, and she set the fire from the left side of the front of the house to the right side of the front of the house, to where it was only one way out, and that was the front door.
Dang.
And she set the fire, and she stood outside with her .45 automatic, and she waited for them to come out the house. And when they saw that she was standing out there, they didn't have no choice but to run out. You either come outside and get shot or burn up in the house. And when the neighbors saw that the house was on fire, it was an older black dude out there begging her, please don't do this. And she turned the gun on him. And she said, it's people like you, old man, is the reason why people like this exist. And she said, all of you passive ass niggas, that's the reason why people like this can, you know, she was just, I'm just paraphrasing. But she was pretty much blaming it on the Martin Luther King generation, you might as well say.
Mm-hmm.
And when her and her son came running out the house, she took them all off. Boom, 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 boom. Took them both out. And when the police came there, she threw the gun down, put her hands on the car, and they took her off. She didn't care no more.
Yeah, ain't really much to care about after that.
And she got off. Can you believe that?
That's good. And a black woman, right?
Mm-hmm. But, of course, you ain't going to hear that in the media. Because, you know, that's too encouraging. You can take that concept to a police officer's home.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But the jury felt like the system had failed her. And the system did. You know, it's the system. It's like I was telling I was telling Angel and I was telling some other Muslims. I said, you know, people always talk about how revolutionary the revolutionary is, but it's the society, it's the environment that creates the revolutionary.
I remember that conversation we had like a year or two ago where we was talking about that, about, you know, how this society created Malcolm X and people like him.
Yeah.
That if this society wasn't so crooked, then we wouldn't have no need of Malcolm or Tupac or them type of brothers.
Right. They create the monster and then shoot the so-called monster down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you want to call Elijah Muhammad a liar, then change your society. And if they was wise, they should have studied his teachings instead of trying to defeat him. They're like, okay, well, he is right about this. Okay, now why don't you fix it? Well, we don't want to fix it because we're capitalizing off of everything he teaches. So that means you're not going to stop him. No, we just let him keep teaching the Negroes. Well, then you're going to keep having this problem. Well, of course we're going to allow the Nation of Islam to exist because we're not going to change the structure that created a Nation of Islam. We're not going to change it, but we will capitalize off of it. We will allow the Negroes to exist. Well, how are you going to control them? Well, we're going to force their leader to sell out. This is the reason why you have a Louis Farrakhan.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I ain't no goddamn fool. How could he march to Washington and have 2 million black men follow him both times, but Malcolm X couldn't have did that. He could have never done that. Now people say, well, it was different back in those days. That's stupid. Why? Just because it was the 60s? We're still dealing with the same conditions. And why is somebody from the Nation of Islam into marching when the Nation of Islam of the 60s was against marching? What the hell happened, Farrakhan? You know what I'm saying?
You're right.
You have to recognize a sellout when you see one. That dude sold out. And it's just a damn shame. Just a bunch of gangsters, you know? But you know, earlier what we were talking about is what Lucius is dealing with. It's kind of funny because I wrote something on this. This is my latest post. Actually, it says it was 5 hours ago, where it said truth is painful, growth is painful, change is painful because of what is left of the previous state that is fighting, refusing for you to be liberated. You know, because, you know, all that stuff that we've been taught, it tries to keep you from being liberated. you know, death from the old mind and into the real mind is painful. All of which holds a phenomenal beauty and freedom into all aspects of life where there is only humility and understanding. Pain is good as well as rewarding. Always be willing to feel some pain for truth. Truth is the healer that will liberate you from the pain of leaving old lives where they belong. And I put that statue of the Trail of Tears statue that the Indians symbolized, you know, when they was pushed out of the southern part of California and up in Oklahoma, the Trail of Tears. And when they got there, them and their horses was exhausted. You know, they went through a whole lot of pain. You know, and it made them some hard, and it had enlightened some people. So pain is good. You know, it's not a bad thing. You know, the problem is a lot of people don't want to feel no pain. I just don't want to feel no pain. Well, then you don't want to be liberated. You know, that's not what growth is all about. Having a fear factor of not wanting to feel pain.
Yeah, pain. In other words, you basically saying trauma.
You know, because if you survive it, and if your mind is in the right place, even though sometimes a person may seem kind of cruel and distant, it's kind of funny. They don't suffer a whole lot no more. You know, because I listened to Lucius, and what he said to his ex-wife, I can relate to that too. When he said, well, shoot, if you wanted to get with him, the only thing you had to do was let me know. I could have set that up. See, nothing phases him. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's like people try their hardest to hurt him, and nothing phases him. And I love that, because I'm the same way. This is what I was telling Sandra. The goddamn thing you could do to hurt me. I said, as long as I can get on the phone and call my son, fuck the world. It ain't a damn thing you can do to me that's going to hurt my feelings. Now, I may be disappointed, but I can't be hurt.
Yeah, man, you're resolute.
And, you know, I wouldn't change my experience with her, because she messed around on me so much up in my face, it don't even faze me now when women do it. But I slept with homeboy, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. Get your shit and go. You know what I'm saying? Now, if you in a relationship, and if that happens and it don't phase you, you good. You've gone beyond the need for relationships. You've gone beyond it. And it puts you in a position while you're in a relationship to where the person is actually expendable. And that's the place where a lot of men need to be now. To where it matters, but it don't matter. And as cruel as that may sound, that's the type of world you're living in when it comes to women. You know, because nowadays, falling in love, that shit is, man, it's not safe. Yeah, but I like this season because it explains a lot of things. And actually, Lucius is my favorite character because I can relate to him in a whole lot of ways. You know, I'm of course, we dealing with two different, you know, occupations and everything, but as far as his intelligence is equivalent to my intelligence with writing and a whole lot of things. I'm not as intelligent as he is when it comes to music, because I really don't care about music in that way. You know, I enjoy the product, you know, but I'm not into producing it. I don't really care too much about producing it. I like the product. you know. But his ruthlessness, I can relate. His nonchalantness, I can relate. You know, having people saying real cruel things to your face and you don't budge, I can relate to that. You know, having people in your life with the intention to humiliate you and all you've done is good things for them and it don't faze you, I can relate to that.